Some of the more challenging interview questions you're going to need to answer are behavioral interview questions. And at 3M, they're going to use behavioral interview questions. In today's video, I'm going to give you 3 of the actual questions they use during the interview, and I'm going to teach you how to answer them from the recruiter's perspective. Now, this is video 3 of a 5-part series. So if this is the first video you are seeing, make sure you go to the playlist when this is done so you can watch all 5 videos, and stick around to the very end, because at the very end of this video, I'm going to tee up video number 4 right here on the screen. All right, with that being said, let's get started. Now, first things first, what is a behavioral interview question? Now, a behavioral interview question is any question they ask where they're asking you to remember a situation that occurred in the past and walk them through how you handled it. Now, you can tell you're being asked one of these questions because they'll start with the words, "Tell me about a time when," or "Give me an example of a time when." Time when is the word you were looking for in an interview question to set off the alarm bells. This is a behavioral interview question. Now, these questions are hard to answer because you actually have to think of a moment on the spot that applies to the situation they're talking about, and then seamlessly walk them through how you handle a certain situation, which is typically a difficult situation, and you want to make sure you include all relevant details. Now, the best way to ensure you do that is to use the STAR method. Now, the STAR method stands for situation, task, action, result. And when it makes sense, throw an L on the end for lesson. But this is a framework to help you answer one of these questions in a seamless way in which you're including all the information you're going to need. So situation, where were you working? What was your role? Task, what came up? What was the situation you were tasked with handling? Action, what was your response? What did you do in this situation? And R, result, what was the outcome here? What ended up happening? And again, L, if there's something that you can learn from this situation that can be applied to your career moving forward, it does make sense to include it here. All right, with that being said, let's get to some of the actual behavioral interview questions and me teaching you how to answer them. Now, this question is, tell me about a time you took on a project that demanded a lot of initiative. This is a pretty standard behavioral interview question. What they're looking for is an example of a time where you took on a project. Now, this project should be bigger than a typical project because it demanded a lot of initiative. So this also means you need to be the guiding force on how you accomplish this. It can't be something where your boss gave you a project and told you exactly what to do and you executed it. No, you need to be the driving force behind the strategy here. What did you need to come up with to make sure you could achieve the end result? Now, I can't give you an exact example here because this is something you're going to need to pull from your past. But just think about a situation in which you were the project lead, you didn't have a lot of direction, but you were able to end the result or end the project with a satisfactory or exceptional result. That's what you need to be looking for. Additionally, in addition to using the STAR method, you should also demonstrate both comfort with this situation, because clearly if they're asking you this is something that could occur in the job you're interviewing for, but also enthusiasm around it. This should be something that you're excited by. In your answer, saying the words, and quite frankly, this is the type of situation I thrive in. I enjoy being able to be given an end result and coming up with a solution on my own. Saying something like that will let them know that you're the type of person who isn't daunted by this type of scenario, but is rather energized by it. And that's going to help you come off as a great candidate who answers this question in a highly effective way. All right, let's go to the next question. Now, this next question is, tell me about a time you experienced a major disruption or change at work. This is a really interesting question, but if you listen to it closely, you can understand what they're getting at. They want to understand how you deal with change. Are you a person who is going to be thrown off by change? Are you someone who's going to embrace it, be an early adopter, and get on the bus before other people? Now, it's really important when you're answering this question to do a few things. Use the STAR method. You want to make sure that you're including all relevant details. 2, it has to be a significant change. It can't just be something small like you switched a small system. It should be a significant strategic change or disruption that changed the way you were doing things on a day-to-day basis, okay? If you don't give an example that has that, you aren't going to be hitting the mark here. Additionally, it's really important that they feel your comfort and your willingness to go through change and not be thrown off by it, but rather embrace it. So that type of enthusiasm, that type of acceptance, that should come off in your answer. And if it doesn't, then you're probably not doing it right. So that's something that I would say. You might want to say in your answer these words. I've been through a lot of different changes in the roles that I've been in my career, and I'm actually the type of person who really enjoys them. I like innovation, I like change, and usually when I've experienced disruption, it's for the best. Those type of things show them that you're the type of person who thrives in those situations, which is something you absolutely want to achieve when you're asked this interview question. Let's go to the next one. This next question is, tell me about a time you made a suggestion for change in an organization in which you were employed. They're basically looking for your innovation and your mindset here. Are you the type of person who suggests change that can result in a net positive impact for your team or organization? So here you need to think about a time where you've actually come up with an idea that's been implemented at a past employer that has been beneficial. That's what they're looking for here. Obviously, if you don't have this example, it's going to be really hard to answer this question. But if you can look through your career and you can find a place where you made a suggestion that helped your team, that's what you're looking for here. Use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Make sure that the change is something significant. Make sure that the change was something positive. And I would go out of my way to let them know that you're the type of person who looks at situations and looks for alternative solutions. And it's part of who you are. You don't just see a problem and follow a predetermined path, but rather you're looking for better ways to do things. Because ultimately that's what they're getting at here. They want someone who can look at a problem and come up with a myriad of possible solutions and choose the best one. Someone who's confident enough to suggest changes that could help the organization. And if you can do this, present it enthusiastically, and really hone in on the outcome here. What was the result of the change that you suggested once implemented? And if that can be a significant change and you can quantify it with dollars saved, percentage of impact, etc., that allows them to imagine the type of impact you might be able to make for them, that's how you answer this question correctly. Now, another question they're going to ask you in your interview is, why do you want to work at 3M? And I would say it's probably the most important question they're going to ask you. And it's so important that I actually made a full video on it, and it's the 4th video in the series. So I'm done here, but I'll catch you over there.